Okay, welcome everybody. Let's take a look at the stock market today and see what happened today. It's Friday, November 19th, 2021. And we're looking at /ES is the symbol. That is the S&P E-mini S&P 500 futures. You can also trade the /MES, which is the E-micro S&P 500 futures. Really nice product to trade. Okay. Today closed at 46.97. Hit all-time new highs, 4723.5. Remember, looking at the daily chart right here. Okay. And before we get going on anything else, let's look at these daily cycles right here. I'm talking about this cycle right here. And we'll take a look at this smaller cycle right here too. Okay. This one ends right around the 15th, right there. And I believe this one ends, more like the 23rd. Now, we have options, quarterly options expiration coming up in the middle of December. Okay, so that's that cycle right there. So we'll see which one of these come into play. Also, be mindful that we've got a pretty good distance here going on between the bottom of the daily candlestick and the 50-day moving average. Okay, so it's fairly elevated here, 3.87% on the amplitude percent indicator. You can see recently here was red. Now it's turned back to yellow. Still pretty elevated. But here's what's really got my attention. Several things have my attention. First of all, we've got these divergence warnings showing up. Okay. Obviously, you can see prices have moved up on the average lately, but the indicators are pointing down. Both of them are doing this. Okay. Also, the real big tell here is that the MACD has flattened out. Okay. Just absolutely flattened out. So what do I think's going on here? Well, I think there's a really risky period. Okay, let's just assume that this daily cycle, the middle of it's right here. Okay, so that would be about November 30th. Okay, very end of the month. So we might see prices continue to go up, maybe not, but usually in the middle of a cycle, prices will begin to stall. And then we're going to watch to see what happens as we come into this cycle low, or it could be way out here, either the 15th, 16th, or maybe as late as the 23rd. Okay. But I expect prices probably to pull back a little bit somewhere in here. This time of year, it can be, flip a coin. And back in 2018, it was a catastrophic year. But that all started from this point and just kept going down. This year didn't do that. So it's a pretty strong end of year, which is kind of typical, for December. Okay, but just be aware we still have this cycle low coming up, and prices could decline down into that. How much? I don't know. They could just stall up in there. We'll just see what happens. Okay. So be aware of that. Middle of December expiration could influence the stock market. Plus, we have quite a few divergence symbol indicators going on here, right? These are warnings, just giving us a heads up to just be aware the stock market could begin to pull back. Okay, we're in a rising 50. Okay, that's the rising 50-day. So even if it pulls back, those will probably still be rising. So I don't necessarily think that we're going to get, this huge price decline that busts through the 50-day, but, you just never know. Okay, but more than likely, it's going to decline at least somewhat, and maybe, I don't know if it's going to come all the way down and meet this 50 moving average, but it might. So just be aware of that I think we will get price declines the closer and closer we get to the middle of December or even late December, okay? And we'll just gauge, how big of a decline are we talking about? Is it just kind of a flat, prices just stall? Or do we actually get a significant price decline moving towards that 50-day moving average, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look at the monthly chart, okay? 436, it's been kind of back and forth. It was 441 the other day, then it was 438, back up to 441, now we're 436. These are pretty significant numbers on the Big Daddy, It's fairly elevated. Everybody can see the distance away from the 50-month moving average. It's huge. Okay, there's no getting around that. Again, this isn't going to move 29.66 because it's measuring from the bottom of the candlestick. It's possible that for the rest of this month, this candlestick could come down and get lower. In other words, it could turn into a red candlestick. So far, it hasn't. It's been kind of a small month, right? The range has been 137, which is a lot on any given day or a week, but for a month, that's actually kind of a small month. So this is really elevated, guys. 29.66 is a really elevated number. So the distance from the 50-month moving average up to the bottom of the monthly candlestick of November is big. It's very big. It's one of the highest amplitude percents we've seen ever. There's only a few months that have been greater than that. Talked about this before, but back in 1998, okay, that time, way back then, that's the only time we've seen amplitude percent bigger than it is right now, okay? So please keep that in mind that, you know, we're getting very elevated. Now, the other thing is, though, we haven't seen any red candlesticks other than the September quarterly expiration. Other than that, it's been all green. So until I start seeing some red candlestick kind of coming in here, then you know what? For now, sky's still the limit. Okay, we're gonna keep it basic, right? Like I said before in a previous video today, it's not rocket science. Until we see this thing start to turn, you know, we can all predict all we want, but let's wait until the candlesticks actually tell us something. Now, this is a bit of a concern on the weekly chart. So we're now on the weekly chart. What am I talking about? Well, we got two really small candlesticks in a row. Okay, like over here. Okay, and then we had some couple down weeks. And that one was pretty significant. Okay. So two really small looking candlesticks. Okay, that, you know, we don't want to ignore that. Okay, two in a row. And we've got this elevated indicators. Okay. And the MACD's been sitting up here elevated forever in a day. Starting to show maybe just a little sign of weakness there. Okay. But we do have also some indicators going on here for potential pullback. You know, these red dots and the yellow dots are in agreement together on the weekly chart. I mean, on the weekly indicators for this indicator and this indicator, they're in agreement that there's a potential for a pullback. Okay, that's just measuring divergence. And when you see red and yellow on both these, pretty significant, okay? So, rising 50, just like we saw on the other charts, the other time frames, multiple time frames we're looking at here. So, you know, it would not surprise me to see eventually it working its way towards that 50 week. Whether or not it gets all the way down to it or not, you know, that's a different story. Maybe we might just get something like this where it comes down but never actually touches it. Okay. But I'm just looking back here on the Big Daddy. It's been quite a while since I've seen two red candles, two divergence signals together side by side. Been a long time. Right? Haven't seen that in the whole year, 2 years. Okay, we'll look at the weekly chart. Look down here, guys. 2020 is that, and 2021 so far is this. And I have not seen two red divergence indications in over 2 years. Okay, so that's not your average, hey, watch out. That's a little above average watch out, okay? So these are just things I'm keeping in the back of my mind as I go through the charts every day and paying attention, okay? Let's go, before I move on, I want to talk about the premium membership. Going to keep this quick, $5.95 a month. Had a lot of people sign up in the last week and a half since I put out the premium membership, okay? And $5.95 is a steal, guys. A lot of these traders are making, you know, $100. Some have made thousands on watching the videos I put out. Yeah, they're educational only videos. I don't give any of those premium members financial advice. They take the videos, they apply it to their own style, and some of them are doing really, really well, okay? They're easily paying for the premium membership for years to come in one trade. So take advantage of it. The other thing I want to talk about is the premium members get the hourly chart. And sometimes I'll even show the 5-minute chart, okay? I don't show that to the general public. So those are more fine-tuned charts that I share with them and just talk about potential trading opportunities that could come up, okay? And they, like I said, they apply it to their own trading styles. Sometimes they use it, sometimes they don't, okay? But if you want access to that premium quality content, $5.95 is less than a pizza you're all paying for every week, okay? So take advantage of it, all right? So let's take a last look at the daily chart and we'll wrap this thing up, okay? I think there's a lot of potential for downside. I don't necessarily know how much downside because December is one of those months that, you know, usually traditionally is kind of on the strong side. Okay, and we didn't get this big continuation like we saw in 2018 that just kept going down out of the September, October, you know, the whole quad witching thing, you know, the quarterly expiration. We didn't get that 2018 event. Not this time. We got the quad witching and then off to the races. Okay, so for now, November going into December still looks strong, but there's a lot of notification here of let's be vigilant, right? Be vigilant, and don't forget, middle of December is quarterly options expiration, and sometimes, guys, those quarterly options do next to nothing for impacting the stock market. I've seen some years that you get a little blip on the radar and that's it. And other times it's been a little more significant. So there's at least a few days in there as we approach this quarterly options that prices stall and pull back a little bit. So that to me would be the bare minimum, but it could be much more significant as we get closer and closer to this time frame and the end of this cycle, either on about December 15th or 16th, or as much as out to like Christmas Eve could be the other potential cycle low. Okay, then we'll just keep evaluating as we approach that time frame. But these two have my attention on the daily, and the MACD is very elevated and it's been pinched, and that definitely has my attention as well. Okay, so we really want to pay attention to now all the way through the middle of December or Christmas. Okay, subscribe to the YouTube channel, everybody. Take advantage of the membership so you get some more quality content on the smaller time frames. Give me a thumbs up for on the video, all right? And don't forget to click that little bell to be notified of all the videos I put them out. Talk to you all real soon again next time.